Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, ang i-review natin yung bagong plug-in hybrid ng Geely. Ito yung Geely EX5 EMI. Available siya in two variants, yung Pro at saka yung Max. Ang selling price ng Pro is 1,288,000 while yung Max is 1,468,000. In terms of price positioning, ang pinaka-direct competitor niya is yung BYD Sea Lion 5 that sells for 1,248,000. So, mas mura yung Sea Lion 5 ng 40,000 pesos. Doon naman sa Max variant, mas mura siya ng 80,000 than the BYD Sea Lion 6. So, halika, samahan niyo ko at tingnan natin kung ano yung mga features niya. This one is the base Pro model. Pareho lang yung exterior look ng Pro and Max. Ang naiba lang is yung Max is meron siyang sunroof, naka-powered tailgate at naka 19-inch na mags. Itong EX5 pagdating sa kanyang exterior features, sa mga Chinese cars na nakita ko, siya yung may isa sa pinaka-exquisite na design. Kasi yung mga lines niya very clean and fluid lang. Kumbaga straightforward siya, walang awkward lines. At gandang-ganda ako sa itsura niya talaga. Dito sa front meron siyang LED headlamps at meron din siyang daytime running lights. At nandito yung Geely emblem niya sa gitna. At makikita mo rin lahat ng vents dito ay functional. Even itong side vent na ito is for aerodynamics and as well as dito sa lower portion. Itong Pro variant, naka 18-inch na mags. Yung top of the line na Max, naka 19-inch na mags yun. Ang tires naman nitong Pro is GT brand, while doon sa Max is Goodyear. At isa sa magandang feature nito is yung window line niya. Meron siyang chrome stripping na parang Porsche Macan. At gustong-gusto ko yung fluidity ng window line niya. Very European as well as yung side mirror design niya. Yun nga lang, wala siyang 360 camera dito sa lower variant. Pero nandun siya sa Max variant, hindi nga lang siya power folding. But one thing na na-appreciate ko sa kanya is yung mga contours niya. It reminds me of a European brand na Porsche Macan na may halong Mazda body line. Very sleek and very clean yung body lines nito, which I like. Pinakagusto kong angle is this part. Makikita niyo yung body lines niya, especially doon sa lower half niya. Continuous doon sa rear quarter panel niya. At yung pagka-chamfered ng body lines niya is very clean. Very German yung pagkaka-atake ni Geely dito. And I think maraming makakagusto sa design philosophy nito. Lalo na sa rear na may continuous light bar. Meron din siyang rear spoiler with high-mounted stoplight. At sa likod, meron ding rear windshield wiper. At ganito yung itsura niya kapag nakailaw yung kanyang LED taillights. Ang kagandahan dito, wala siyang emblem. So pag tinanggal mo yung Geely na badge, sobrang linis ng likod nito. Even yung execution sa bumper, very straightforward. Walang fake vents or exhaust tips na nakalabas. So gustong-gusto ko yung design dito. And the nice thing is naka-independent suspension siya, unlike sa iba na naka-torsion beam. Okay, yan yung exterior features niya. Now, check naman natin yung interior. Even though this one is the basic model, punong-puno siya ng soft touch materials. From here at the top, dito sa gitna, yung panel niya is also soft touch material. Hanggang dito sa armrest, malambot din. At yung mga window switches niya, mukhang good quality. Tapos dito may malaking bottle holder. At nandito yung speaker niya. By the way, 6 yung speakers niya. Doon sa Max variant, meron siyang 16 speaker Flyme sound system, including yung dalawang sa headrest speakers. Okay, check naman natin itong driver seat. Dito, manual adjustment siya. 6-way manual adjustment siya. Doon sa Max, power adjustment siya. Yung steering wheel niya is leather wrap. Tapos flat dun sa bottom. Meron din siyang mga buttons dito sa steering wheel. Specifically para dun sa adaptive cruise control, yung control ng instrument cluster, at saka dun sa kanyang touchscreen. Naka-electric power assisted steering na rin siya and tilt and telescopic. Dito merong soft touch na leatherette material at yung kanyang dashboard, soft touch material din. Kaya parang premium yung kanyang feel. Actually, yung softness ng leather niya reminds me of the Mazda leather quality. Then, meron siyang speaker dito sa dashboard na part ng 6-speaker audio system. At ang laki ng kanyang touchscreen, it's 16.4 inches. The nice thing here is yung execution ng design sa interior. Very fluid din just like the exterior at yung mga sidings niya looks integrated well sa dashboard. Yung seats niya maganda din, malambot siya. Although wala siyang seat ventilation gaya nung sa Max variant. Pero for its price, ang ganda na ng quality niya. Okay, check natin itong glove box. Wala siyang ilaw. Okay, check natin dito sa itaas. Meron siyang LED reading lights here. And then, meron siyang vanity mirror dito sa may passenger area na walang ilaw. Ganon din sa driver side. Meron siyang vanity mirror pero wala siyang ilaw. Dito naman sa center console, meron siyang lalagyan ng cellphone. I think ito yung magandang part ng interior niya. Pwede mong ilatag yung phone mo in a comfortable position. Pwede mo siyang gamitin. Yun nga lang, dito sa base model, wala siyang wireless charging. Sa ganitong design, hindi mo na kailangan ng phone holder. Kasi maganda na yung positioning ng lalagyanan ng cellphone. May mga exterior controls din na nilabas niya na usually nandun sa screen. So you can control yung aircon dito, yung fan speed, yung mode, yung temperature. So, hindi ka na pupunta doon sa screen para makontrol mo siya. Which is common sa ganitong mga sasakyan. So, minimal na din yung black material na prone to scratches. So, ito is nababalot na siya ng soft touch material. Meron siyang dalawang cup holders. Tapos dito, meron siyang compartment na medyo malalim din. So, marami kang mailalagay na gamit. At dito sa ilalim, merong space pa din. So, nandito, meron siyang 12-volt socket dito. At meron dalawang charging port. Isang Type A, saka isang Type C. So, pwede kang maglagay ng bag mo dyan para hindi makaistorbo. Okay, check naman natin itong rear area. So, ganun din, gaya dun sa harapan, yung door panel niya is balot din ng mga soft touch material. It's so pleasing to the eyes. Tapos dito sa likod, mukha talaga siyang maluwag. Ang ganda ng kanyang legroom, very roomy. Maganda rin yung kanyang thigh support. So, very comfortable yung rear passenger. Kasi ang ganda ng legroom, ang luwag niya. Okay, check natin dito sa gitna. Ang maganda dito, wala siyang center tunnel, kaya flat yung sa gitna. Meron siyang dalawang aircon vents here. Meron charging port, Type A, Type C, at saka maliit na compartment. Ang napansin ko lang dito, wala siyang center armrest. So, usually, meron siyang cup holders doon. Dito, wala. But maganda yung quality ng seats, malambot. Tapos, yung saksakan ng seatbelt, nakalubog. Tapos, ang lambot ng kanyang seats. So, very comfortable siyang upuan. At meron din siyang reading light here. Okay, check naman natin itong compartment area. Hindi siya power tailgate, so manual yung opening niya. Yung sa Max, naka-power tailgate. Cargo space niya mga 520 liters. Pero wala siyang spare tire. So dito meron din siyang ilaw dito sa left side. And instead of spare tire, meron siya ditong repair kit. Which is common sa mga electric vehicles. So meron ditong tire sealant saka yung kanyang air compressor. At pag iniangat mo itong cover dito, meron pa siyang space dito sa ilalim. Actually, na-adjust mo itong cover. Pwede siyang mas mataas para makapaglagay ka ng mas maraming items sa ilalim. In fact, sa tingin ko, pwede kang maglagay ng spare tire dito sa ilalim eh. Pwede siyang makoveran. Yan o, malalim siya. Siguro kung gusto nyong magdala ng spare tire, pwede nyong ilagay dito. Tapos pag naibaba mo yung cover, hindi na siya kita. And then meron siyang tonneau cover here. Pwede mo ring i-flat itong second row seat. So kapag ka nakababa siya, roughly siguro mga 2,000 liters ang magiging cargo space mo. Okay, yan yung interior features. Now, check naman natin ang powertrain. This is a plug-in hybrid na popular ngayon. Meron siyang 1.5 liter engine at saka electric motor. Ang engine is may 98 horsepower at 125 Newton meters of torque. Yung electric motor power naman is 160 kilowatt at yung maximum electric motor torque is 262 Newton meters. Yung battery capacity niya is 18.4 kilowatt-hour. At yung maximum DC charging power is 30 kilowatts. At yung maximum AC charging power naman is 6.6 kilowatt. So pareho lang yung powertrain doon sa Max variant. And they are saying na yung pure electric range niya is 105 kilometers. And yung combined range with a full tank of gas is about 1,000 kilometers. Acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is about 8 seconds. And top speed is 170 kilometers per hour. And it uses yung EMI Super Hybrid technology ng Geely, which is the direct competitor of BYD's DMI technology. So ano yung core technology components ng EMI? Una, yung high efficiency dedicated hybrid engine. So meron siyang thermal efficiency of 46.5%, which allows the car to extract more usable energy from every drop of fuel. Second, meron siyang 11-in-1 EDHT system. Bale, ano siya, yung integrated electric drive unit that combines yung motor, transmission, and control function into one compact package. At number 3, meron siyang short blade LFP battery. Yan yung lithium iron phosphate technology na tested to withstand yung extreme heat, pressure, and even yung seawater immersion. Ang maganda dito sa EMI system is meron siyang redundant backups. So, ibig sabihin, kahit na yung isang power component, like for example, yung sensor or a specific module, nagkaroon ng problema, the car will remain operational. Yung Geely's EMI technology uses 11-in-1 electric drive. So, slightly higher overall yung power output efficiency niya than the BYD's current DMI system. However, yung BYD's DMI has a much longer track record compared dun sa Geely's EMI. I would like to highlight also na itong Geely's EX5, gumagamit siya ng dedicated hybrid transmission. Ang tawag nila doon ay EDHT. Yung DHT, gumagana siya parang smart energy manager that blends yung electric and gasoline power seamlessly. Unlike dun sa traditional automatic transmission na merong fixed gear ratios, dito wala. So yung shifting feel niya is virtually seamless. It's more efficient than the traditional automatic. So no-optimize niya yung highway driving through intelligent mode switching, high-speed stability, at saka meron siyang fail-safe redundancy. So itong EX5 utilizes yung tatlong primary driving modes, yung pure, yung hybrid, saka yung power. So depending on your driving situations, you have modes to choose from. Medyo mabusisi rin itong system nitong EX5. Siguro I will do a separate video para mai-explain ito ng mabuti. Now, ano pa ba yung ibang features nitong Pro variant? So, meron siyang electronic parking brake, auto vehicle hold, automatic emergency brake, adaptive cruise control, intelligent cruise control, lane keeping assist, emergency lane keeping assistant, collision mitigation support, saka yung traffic sign identification. Pero wala siya ng intelligent high beam control, collision mitigation support rear cross traffic alert, rear cross traffic brake, doors open warning, lane changing assistance, saka yung blind spot detection. Meron lang yan doon sa Max variant. But meron din siyang vehicle to load o V2L at saka yung vehicle to vehicle o V2V power supply. Pagdating naman sa safety features, itong Pro at saka yung Max, almost the same yung features except for some items. For example, wala siyang 360 camera saka yung front parking radar. But meron naman siyang TPMS. So meron siyang TCS, ESC, ABS, EBD, brake assist system, hill start assist, hill descent control, saka yung anti-rolling program. In addition, meron siyang collision safety power cut-off system at saka yung multi-collision braking system. I think very important yung dalawang yon. Okay, let's summarize. Ano naman ang pros and cons nitong Geely EX5 EMI? Number 1 pro niya yung kanyang mahabang range. It can travel up to 1,000 kilometers on a full tank of gas. At the same time, it can travel up to 100 kilometers on pure electric. So, great sa local conditions natin na matraffic. And it also removes yung range anxiety ng mga full EV. Second, meron siyang flexible driving modes. So, pwedeng EV, hybrid, or power modes. So, it can drive as an EV sa city and fuel-efficient hybrid on long trips. So, practical siya kung hindi ka pa ready sa full electric. Number 3, yung kanyang good fuel efficiency. So, you save fuel especially kung nagcha-charge ka regularly. Number 4 na pro niya is yung kanyang competitive pricing. Mas mahal lang siya ng 40,000 sa Sea Lion 5, but mas mura siya ng 80,000 sa Sea Lion 6. So, I can say it's one of the most affordable plug-in hybrids locally. Number 5 is spacious siya and practical. Meron siyang large cabin at saka long wheelbase. The trunk has 528 liters of space at kapag naka-flat yung seats, it can go up to 2,065 liters. So, very family-friendly SUV. Another pro niya is yung kanyang high-tech interior and features. Meron siyang triple screen setup plus large infotainment screen. Meron din siyang V2L that can power yung devices. So, it feels modern and premium for its price. And lastly, meron siyang comfortable ride. Independent suspension siya, so it's tuned for comfort over sportiness. So, it's good for daily driver for the city and even sa highway. Now, ano naman yung mga cons niya? Number 1, you must charge it to get full benefits. Kasi kung hindi mo siya i-charge, it behaves like a regular hybrid. At yung fuel savings drops significantly. Yan minsan ang hindi naiintindihan ng mga buyers. Yung PHEVs needs charging discipline. Second con niya, hindi siya sporty or exciting to drive. Kasi ang focus niya is comfort, not performance. So, expect na soft suspension and some body roll. So, hindi siya ideal if you want fun handling. Another con niya is yung kanyang tech o infotainment can be a hit or miss. Kasi heavy reliance siya dun sa touchscreen for controls. Common issue yan sa mga Chinese cars. The other con niya is yung kanyang brand and after-sales concerns. Di ba may naging malaking issue yung Geely kaya bumagsak yung kanyang sales? I think nag-i-improve na yung service nila but it's still a concern. So yung resale value niya is still uncertain compared with, for example, Toyota or Honda. The other con niya is yung complexity niya versus yung regular hybrid. So more complex yung system niya, ng battery, yung engine, saka yung electronics. So potentially, higher yung long-term maintenance cost. Kasi more things can go wrong. And lastly, yung real-world na electric range may vary. Kasi magdidepende yan sa yung driving style, yung traffic, yung aircon use, saka yung temperature dito sa Pilipinas. So, expect mo na mas lower yung range niya than the advertised EV range. In summary, itong Geely EX5 EMI is a very practical transition car. So, perfect siya if you want to enjoy yung EV benefits without purely committing to electric. Kasi budget-friendly siya for a plug-in hybrid SUV. So, practical siya for EV driving in the city, tapos meron kang gas backup for long trips. Plus, you have comfort, space, and technology. At ang isa pang nakalimutan ko is yung appeal niya. Ako kasi pagdating sa Chinese cars, meron akong hinahanap na appeal sa kanila. At ngayon sa mga Chinese cars na affordable, hindi ko mahanap yon sa ibang brands. Kasi tinitingnan ko talaga yung design execution, as well as yung build quality, yung mga panel gaps and others. And interestingly enough, I think sa lahat ng plug-in hybrid in the market na affordable, kung tatanungin nyo ako, ito yung kukunin ko. Unang-una yung appeal niya, it's very European-like. Gusto ko yung design execution niya, malinis lang, walang awkward angles. And as an owner na mahilig mag-setup ng vehicles, I can imagine this with 20-inch wheels or 21-inch wheels na Vosen or other brands na malinis lang. Ang ganda nito for sure. Kasi pag makikita mo ito sa personal, yung build quality nito up there for its price point. Kasi sa ibang brand nakikita ko yung mga panel gaps, nakikita ko talaga yung difference pagdating dito. I don't know why nag-improve si Geely dito. Even yung mga material sa loob, very upscale for its price. Siguro ang isa lang na dapat pag-isipan talaga is kung kayang i-commit yung long-term reliability at saka yung after sales. And if you don't plan to charge regularly, then you have to think twice. Kasi you will not get the full benefit of a plug-in hybrid. Kasi kung titingnan mo yung mga hybrids, they can go up to 20 to 25 kilometers per liter na rin eh. Mas simple yung kanilang system and they don't need to charge. So magdidepende talaga yan kung ano ang importante sa'yo sa situation mo. Okay, hanggang dito na lang. I hope nakapagbigay ako sa inyo ng kaunting insights about this Geely EX5 EMI. Alright, if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, see you again in my next vlog. Bye!